Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough for King West property sheet. So when you get the link, you'll be directed to this page. You just hit use template and that will bring you into your own Canva account. And once you're in this Canva account, you're ready to start designing. So the first step will be to head over to uploads on the left and upload your listing images by clicking this button, hitting on device, and then finding your listing photos and uploading them. And once you do, it'll look similar to this. And it's time to start putting in your own photos. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to change up the photos with your own. So you do that by grabbing a photo that you'd like to use and hovering it over the box, and that should pop right into place. If you have an issue with this, it might be because this is locked, so you just head over to the top and make sure that this is unlocked. So if it's locked, something like this will happen, where nothing really happens. So just make sure that's unlocked, grab your photo, and as you hover it over the box, it should pop into place. Once it's popped into place, just double click it, and then you can move it around in the frame to show whichever part of the photo you want displayed. And when you're happy with where it's sitting, you can do the same to these other boxes as well. Now you can change anything you want about this template. So if you're not happy with the font or you have your own font that you regularly use, then just highlight the text and head over here to the text box, and you can select any font that Canva offers. If you have a pro account, they have a little bit more, but they have so many fonts in the free as well. So you just choose one that you like and change this to whatever it is that you want to broadcast or draw attention to with your listing. You change the listing address over here, and the URL can be your own or the URL that you purchased for your listing. In order to change the color of this box, you can do so by heading over, just highlighting it. Sorry, let's start over. You can highlight this box, and once it's highlighted, meaning that there's a green box around it, you head over to the color panel and you click on it, and you can either choose colors that Canva has chosen for you, or if you have your own brand colors or colors that you regularly use, you can put the hex code in by just hitting this rainbow box and then putting your hex code in there. There is a background shape, as you can see here. You can change that as well to anything that you would like. So if you want a more dramatic look, you can do something like that in black. I actually really like this. It just depends on the tone of your listing. So if you have a modern listing, this is perfect for that. It's very stark and modern. If you have more of a classic home that's for sale, I would stay away from this particular look. What you could do is just have it more subdued, and then of course change the font to match your listing, which you would do by getting a more classic text like this one, for example, and then just changing that to something that's relevant to your listing. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to keep it how it was. And then on to page number 2. You can change anything here as well. We've created these little descriptions of the rooms here, but you can use it to put the room size. You can use it to draw attention to certain elements in the room if you'd like. The same applies for these boxes. Just grab the photo that you want to use and it will pop right in, double click, and you can move it around in the frame. You can move these around. Now please note that they are 2 different objects. So there's a triangle and a rectangle. So if you want to move them around as one element, what you would do is select one element, hit shift on your keyboard, and while you're holding shift, you select the second element, and that will group these 2 together. You right click and then hit group. This way, when I move this box around, it's moving around as one element. Now you click on this box and you can change this to whatever you like. If you have a lot of text that needs to fit in here and you're thinking, oh, this isn't big enough, I don't know what I'm going to do, highlight the text and then you can head over to this spacing tab. And what's really cool about this, actually let me use this one down here so you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. What's really cool about this is that you can reduce the spacing between letters in Canva. So you don't want to go too drastic here. You don't want it to be so it's illegible, but you can adjust it so that if you have just a little bit of text, you might want to increase the space in between the letters, and that gives the illusion of more text. If you have quite a bit of text that you want to fit in, then you can just reduce the space between letters, and then it just gives you a little bit more room to play with in these boxes. This is an area that we've designed for the room sizes, but if you don't want to put the room sizes there, other options would be amenities or local attractions. You can use this space for anything. This is for the write-up, and this is just another descriptive term for the property itself. When it comes to your headshot, you have a couple options. You can upload your headshot as is and just pop it in. So again, I'm just going to pop in my photo here, and it's really that simple. If you want to keep it as simple as possible, then that's the easiest way. Otherwise, you can head over to Elements and have a little bit of fun with this and type in frames. And then I can take this circle. Let me just delete this. Okay, I can take this circle by clicking once. It'll come into the frame. I'm going to resize it and bring it down here a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to go to my headshot and pop it in. So you can have a little bit of fun with the frames. They have so many different ones here, and depending on, how crazy you want to get, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can even use your initial as a photo frame and pop yourself in there. It's completely up to you. This is just a simple way of changing this template up to make it your own and to showcase a little bit of your personality. So this is where your company logo would go, unless you are allowed to write your brokerage information down here. That's optional as well. And in order to bring your company logo into Canva, you're going to head over to upload an image or video, and make sure that you're uploading an image file that your brokerage can provide to you. Okay, so if you have Canva Pro and you don't want your headshot to have a background, then what you can do is select your headshot, go to Effects, and hit Background Remover. This is only for Canva Pro, but this is an amazing tool if you do have it in here. If you don't, we do have tutorials at 4thstreetcreative.com/tutorials where we actually show you how you can do this for free online without having to sign up for a Canva Pro account. But how easy and how cool is that? It removed the background completely. So if you're not digging a background with this particular template, that is a great way that you can just add a little bit more seamless look to the template itself. You change your info here. And again, I'm just going to say that if you have a longer, this is like short, info@sarahking.com is very short, but if you have a longer company name that you need to fit in here and you're wondering how am I going to do that, again, highlight all the text, head over here to the spacing tool, and you can just bring that right in. And now you have a whole bunch of room to add extra information if you need that. When everything is ready to go, one more thing. So there is a background here as well. This background color is a light gray, so it's hard to see, but you'll definitely be able to see it when it's printed. But if you want to do something more dramatic, you can by all means change the color of this to anything that you would like, your brand colors or colors that you use most often, or something that complements the listing. So a trick that I like to use if I'm working with a client who doesn't have brand colors already established, what I love to do is take colors from the photo. So if there's a cohesive color palette to the home, so if there's a lot of grays and a lot of whites, I'm gonna just flow with that and make sure that I'm taking colors that really make these photos pop. And if you choose a connection, if you choose a color that's prevalent throughout all the photos, it really makes the photos stand out that much more. So I urge you to play around with that as well if you don't have your brand colors. And once you're happy with how everything looks, you're going to head over to File, Show Print Bleed, and this is where you're going to make any adjustments to the file before you send it to the printer. So this dotted line here is where the printer is going to cut your document. And we need to bleed all of these elements out to the edge, or we run the risk of having that dreaded white line around our elements. So just make sure that everything that you want to bleed out is past the dotted line. Things that you don't want even remotely close to the dotted line is text, because if the printer cuts just slightly below this dotted line, which happens often, you usually have an 1/8 of an inch margin for safety. And if you put it too close to this dotted line, you run the risk of the printer cutting your text. So I like to leave a healthy distance around the border so all your text is safe from being cut off in print. We're going to go to the first page, make sure that everything's bleeding out that we want. Yes, it is. All of our text is safely in the frame. Perfect. And then when we are happy with it, we're going to head over to download, PDF, print, high quality, multi-page document. And then if you are having this professionally printed, you're going to click on crop marks and bleed and then download. If you're not having it professionally printed, just make sure this crop marks box is unchecked, and then you can print this at home. Now, another trick that I love to urge my clients to do is to multi-purpose this document. You have it, why not use it? So you could actually take this and download it as a PNG file or even as a JPEG file and download and then put this on social media. So now you have an image file that you can use on places like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, Pinterest, wherever you would like to use this. You can use it as an image file and multi-purpose this document, and you get the most bang for your buck. So I'm just going to download this as a PDF print, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. And when I open this document, this is what it should look like with your crop marks here. And you just want to take you want to look at this one more time before you send it to the printer to just make sure that the crop marks and everything that you want is where it should be. And this looks fantastic, so I am ready to send this to the printer. And that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and if you have any questions or need any help, please feel free to head over to fourthstreetcreative.com/tutorials. We have a huge resource library, and if we don't have what you're looking for, you can always let us know, and we would be happy to make a tutorial for you. Thanks so much. Happy designing.